on the mail. They gon' channel riding through the streets, they be like they go. You don't want no problem with me. You don't want no problem with me.
This video is just the birthing video from Riot and this litter. We have a lot of pictures of the process. It's hard to find exactly the information I was looking for, so I found bits and pieces throughout my research, and I figured I'd compile our journey here in this video. Have little 2-week-old puppies in the background here. You can hear. You'll probably hear throughout the video commentary on this. The first few pictures are obviously the coupling of Gator and Riot, and then just kind of there's some pictures thrown in there of her body change throughout the 9-week process, the sonogram photo confirming the pregnancy, the x-ray to show how many puppies there would be, and then we get into the videos of the actual day of. I think I took a video the day before. It shows her just behavior, panting, restlessness, that kind of stuff that she was exhibiting, and then up until when she started to actually push and we had puppies out. Her pregnancy, from the time that her temperature dropped was until when she started to actually push, was over probably about 32 hours, and then she had 6-7 hours of pushing. So here in this video you can see her stomach start to contract. Also you can see her exhibiting the panting. So this was still an hour before we actually had a puppy. But her stomach started to tense up. She really got into this heavy panting. Right there, that's one of the contractions that we saw. So she also started to display some anxious behavior, like that yawn. She would roll around, she could not get comfortable, going back and forth, and then she would have more contractions. She did a lot of this, up and down, back and forth, wanting to go outside. She did want to make a den outside, even though we had, you know, this nice house for her to have puppies in. We made a nice whelping box for her. She ended up not using the whelping box. We're using it now that the puppies are getting more mobile. So here this shows the lactation that she had right before she's giving birth. She had been lactating for probably about a week before this, but then this licking that she would do, also signs that we were getting close. Again, this is going to be another contraction. Right there. Good contraction, and then she pushed a little bit with it. I was trying to time her contractions out, but they were honestly kind of sporadic. Sometimes they would be 2 minutes apart, sometimes they'd be 30 seconds. This one was about another minute, and this is when we were getting really, really close to a puppy coming. You can also see the kind of her breathing, how it's a deep breathing, it's slow. Her face is kind of, I don't want to say weary in it, but it's, you know, almost like, you know, there's like a calming but distress at the same time in her face. Now, she did sleep for probably 20 hours the day before this happened. when she went into labor. The whole day that her temperature had dropped, she just slept that whole day and then had a little bit of restlessness. So we were, you know, getting to the point where we might have had to go to the vet, but we did it out another 6 hours, and then puppy started to come. Here in this video, you can see right here, she started to do this shaking. It was almost like a shiver in her neck area, and then it kind of went down her whole body. So this is when everything started to get real. She had a serious contraction right here, started pushing, and you can see the pressure. That's the puppy's body pushing up against her. She started to get in kind of this hunched position. We tried to get her into the whelping box area. You could even tell if you just look at her tail. I was really just trying to get her to lie down, because I didn't want the puppy dropping onto the concrete floor, onto the hard surface. But even when she walks by here, you kind of see her tail posture is different, and that's because the puppy's actual body is, you know, pushing up against her at that point, ready to come out. So she's doing some active pushing here, you can tell from her tail being curled, and it's kind of in a squat a little bit. Kind of stays in a squat position. You can see all of that right there, how low her vaginal area dropped from the pressure of that puppy pushing right up against the birthing canal, and almost out there. She flops down like this, and the puppy came right out. I didn't get that part on camera, but as close as I could be to getting it on camera. And then she did what she needed to do. Got the puppy out of the sack, and 313. Yep, that's the first. So she wasn't with this litter. She was not chewing the umbilical cords off. So I did have to use our surgical clamps and the medical shears to take care of the umbilical cords. This is me with a little bit of panic, thinking of I have so many things I need to do. So after I did the umbilical cord, got the placenta out of there, and dried the puppy off a little bit, and you know, that puppy was moving around. That's that puppy. That's after 2 puppies. The first 4 puppies were about an hour apart each. Puppy 5 and 6 were only about 30 minutes apart, and puppy 7 was another 30 minutes apart. And by about 9:40 p.m. we had 7 puppies. So making sure that she's eating, has plenty of water all day long. Because she's nursing, she's eating plenty of food, basically every couple hours, getting a cup. sometimes when I come in, like this morning before I left for work, came in, gave her some. She ate a couple bites and left it, but by the time I got home it was empty, so I knew she was snacking on it all day. Same thing with the water, I filled it up. Obviously she's been drinking it throughout the day. So she'll get quite a bit of food, as much as she wants to eat. Make sure that her milk production stays up for those little babies. We are going to take their weight here in a second. Been tracking their weight daily, making sure that they're gaining a few ounces every day. They're looking pretty good, pretty healthy. Everybody moves around pretty good. They're very active little newborn puppies when they're hungry and when they're upset. I really like that little gray collar's coloring on him. He's gonna turn out pretty cool, I think. He might be a little bit brindle. Red puppy has been the most vocal puppy, I would say. He's a barker already. He barks in his sleep, and I noticed him growling on the teat when somebody tries to take it from him. Not a big sharer, so I like that. It's a blue puppy. He's the biggest. Has been the biggest. He was the biggest coming out. He's the biggest. He was the third born. And he's been the biggest so far. He yesterday was at 24 ounces, whereas our run is at 17 ounces. Everybody else is around 20, 21 ounces. He's a big boy. The yellow female over there, she's been pretty active as well. And the purple puppy, who was the first puppy, she's been active since minute 1 coming out. Riot's been doing really, really well with them. She's very tentative to them. I'll probably put it in here, but I was watching from the puppy camera earlier. One of the puppies, you couldn't tell because it was nighttime on the camera which color it was, but the puppy was like all the way out here, and she was nursing the rest of them, and she was so concerned that puppy was like all out, and she was doing everything she could to not disrupt everybody else that was eating and sleeping, but at the same time trying to get as close as to over here as she could. Eventually that puppy found its way back, and you know, she does every time she comes inside, or every time I take a puppy away to weigh it or do some sort of maintenance on them and bring it back. She's, you know, licking them. She's making sure their bowels are being relieved. She's very good at that. So she's overall being a really, really good mom. Her milk production, like I said, has been pretty active. I do need to take her temperature today. Just, you know, we're monitoring for things like mastitis and making sure that we don't have any indications that she's got anything like that going on. They love to get buried under her. They're very cute, very hungry. See, there's that yellow puppy going. Very active puppy, active female. Blue puppy. He's a big bully. You're a good girl. Hear this little puppy's nose going. Hey, listen to this.